Let me bring in Kelly O'Donnell, our senior White House correspondent, into this conversation. When you talk about, of course, the political ramifications of not just this decision standing on its own, but in light of the decision, the watershed decision yesterday on affirmative action, Kelly.
Well, certainly I would expect from the White House they will note today's date, June 30th, the final day of Pride Month, and that this decision coming at that time is particularly painful to the LGBTQ community because of what the concerns are about how this could be employed in other states, how it could be interpreted, and at a time when support for gay marriage is at the highest that it has been, a ruling like this brings about a lot of concern about how this will impact the everyday lives of gay Americans. Tapping into your conversation with Laura, I was in the courtroom for the oral arguments last fall for this case, and one of the things that Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson talked about is if we're talking about the creative expression of the person who does not want to provide this service. She gave the example of those sort of old-style photographs where people are in costumes. And she said, what if the person who was the photographer, the artist there, wanted it to only be white people in that photo when they're wearing costumes like the sort of the old Wild West or something like that? Could you sell that? And Justice Thomas was talking about the fact that this is about public accommodation. It's different than a hotel where you must serve all people, can't discriminate against anyone based on their status, or a restaurant. And that distinction you've been talking about, what is the creative message behind this website that Lori Smith wants to be able to provide? And how will that be different? And a lot of discussion about, is a save the date message on a website the property of the couple getting married, or is it somehow a creative expression of the person doing it? And Justice Sotomayor writes that this is discrimination based on message, not status. So there are a lot of concerns about what this will mean for larger implications. And so often with a case like this, it's looking at very specific circumstances, the free speech argument, the artist involved, dealing with what is public accommodation under our laws. But the implications are so much broader and certainly will be perceived by many Americans who won't know the specifics of what was argued in this case and what really brought about this clear ruling from the court 6-3. We would expect that the White House would want to comment about this and to try to find other ways to be supportive of the LGBTQ community. And certainly when it comes to the issue of free expression, First Amendment rights are among the most sacred, and certainly we got that impression listening to the arguments in court, and at the same time trying to make certain that there is no discrimination against persons who are different in any way or are in a minority status. So this case will have long implications, Savannah.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.